Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. My name's Matt Drake. This is episode 203. And I'm joined by my co-host, Morgan Harfell. Good evening, Morgan.
Hey, Matt. I thought I'd just give you some real awkward wave, you know. Hey, bro. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Other than the stuff I told you in the green room that'll never be spoken of again, I'm good. Yeah.
But you're looking forward
to fun.
Because you're still a bit busy, right? Because you've got like the classic in like I've got this right, a week's time.
Nah, not a week.
2 weeks.
Not till three weeks. 22nd and 23rd of March. We've still got 3 weeks. There's
3 weeks.
Plenty to do there though. So we're outside of regulation work hours, that's pretty much the full focus right now. So it's good. Lots on the go.
Yeah, indeed. Talking of lots on the go, we've got quite a bit to go through on the show today. We first of all going to go through some hot scores. Then we're going to have a look back through the tournament results for the last weekend. So that's Southern Smash and the Middle Earth Open. Some big surprises in those events. We're then going to go through. Not in detail, we're not going to go line by line, but we're going to talk about the UDisc growth report and some of the stuff that you can see on there. I don't know if you've had a look at it, chat. Let us know in the comments if you've had a chance to run through it. But if you have, then I'm sure you agree there's some pretty cool like charts and graphs and all sorts of stuff on there. So that's good to see. We have made a request to UDisc to get the course data similar to how we have had in previous years, and we'll have a future episode where we go through all of that kind of stuff. Quick reminder that if you haven't watched last week's show, last week we had Johnny Wake on, and he's trying to get to Amateur Worlds this year. And he's running a pretty sweet raffle. So head over to our YouTube and have a look at last week's show if you haven't already. Also check out his social channels as well. You can win a Zuka cart, a grip bag, some shoes, some discs. There's all sorts going on. So head over to those to get involved. We're going to be having a look ahead to the Late Summer's Dream, which is being played at Jelly Park this Sunday, and also the Tipohoi Breeze, which I think is the third instalment of that tournament up in Hawke's Bay. So that's going to be quite fun to look at. And we're also going to have a look at the tipping championships to see who's leading the way. Somebody has got a massive lead. And it's going to be interesting to see.
Is that what it's called now, Matt? Sorry, is that what it's called now? The tipping championships? Have you just?
It is.
Have you just name dropped that?
Because I've got some information on the prize that the winner of season 1 will take away, which finishes at the end of March. So that's what we're going to do. But first up, I'd just like to say thank you so much for tuning in. And if you could like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube algorithm things, then that would be lovely. And if you want to get involved a little bit more, then you can head over to patreon.com/sweetchainlive and see what's going on over there. Morgan, hot scores.
Yeah, right. So scores. Let's get into the South.
Let's go through the South.
I'm going to do what you just did. And before you guys get the hot scores, get your phones out, pull up Disc Golf Valley. Code is right above myself or Matt. I can't tell which way around that is, but
it's 3 Yankee Hotel Kilo.
Ooh, there we go. Military. Yeah. All right, military. All right. We're going to head down to the south into Queen's Park, and we've got Mr. Joe Paul at 12 under par this week. Chingford sees Nicholas McDermott, and so does Brockville. That also sees Nicholas McDermott hold the keys. 8 down at Chingford, 7 down at Brockville. Then we head over to the Queenstown Gardens with a Stiffmeister and Adam Swan. Both shoot 15 down this week. 13 under for Mundo McDisc at Lismore Park. I don't actually think anyone plays Lismore Park other than Mundo McDisc. And to be fair, I'm surprised Swanee's on there because I think Stiffmeister is the only one that ever plays the Gardens too. Bailey Gardner, though, gets it done at Jelly Park alongside Sam Cole at 14 under par this week. Warren Park, Mr. Ben Schicker, 10 down. Smallbone Reserve, KBG, 16 under par. Hayden Bonney gets it done this week at 7 under par at Queen's Park. Saxton Field has Mr. Reese Wynne Jones shooting a hot 11 under par this week. And rounding out the top of the South at Branford Park, we have Anthony Andrews shooting a 15 down. I feel like every week at Brantford we see a new name shooting 14, 15 down. That's some awesome golf happening up those ways. Let's head up north.
Up north, starting at Berhampore, Pedro goes around the black layout, which is the full 18 at Berhampore, 9 under par. So very well done to him. Over at Hikoikoi, it's Phil McLeod who goes around 2 under par. Up at Harcourt Park, Ben Morrison hits 7 under par. More on him later. And his nephew, Ezra Robinson, hits 9 down at Linklater. Up to Maryland's Brian Rawlins hits 3 down. Courtney Robertson is got the hot score around Spa Park Black with an even par, and Martin de Haas goes round Henderson at 4 under par. Zach Armour is in charge at Wood Hill once again with a 5 down, and Luke Humphreys takes out the hot score at Rosedale with a 5 under par. So well done to everybody who's got a hot score this week. Now, there were 2 tournaments that were played in the last weekend. The first one we're going to go to is the Southern Smash all the way down in Invercargill. This was tournament directed by the Stouts, with Nicola Stout leading the way. And in MPO, it was Levi Stout who took out the win. With a 29 under par overall, shooting 2 hot rounds, 10.26 and 10.28 in rounds 1 and 2. I think
by memory, when I looked at it over the weekend, he shot maybe only 2 points under his current rating, which is actually pretty impressive coming off the back of, gaining all of these points playing with these big pros that have been out here. And now with the amount of points that are available at these tournaments, still shooting around that number is incredible.
Yeah. Francis Orange pushed Levi all the way, and came to within 4 strokes of Levi in second. Sebastian Faulkner and Andrew Popham in a more distant third, finishing as they did 12 under par. In FPO, Alison Tweedy. I think this is her first FPO win of her career. So I'm just going to double check that. I mean, it might be. Is it her first FPO? No. She won the Women's Global event in Invercargill last year, which is still an FPO victory. But other than that, it's her first FPO win, and she takes the win over a fairly strong card, right? This is a card that's included Nicola Stout, who she beats by 2 strokes on her home course, Hayley Flintoft by 16 strokes, and Echo Lee back. And
Hayley really, just coming off the back of a pretty recent win too up at Roxburgh, so a week beforehand basically. So yeah, that's a massive win in my books as far as I'm concerned for Alison. That's a really big one.
And shooting comfortably above her rating as well, 952 rated round 2. That's pretty good for anyone, honestly. Let alone a junior stepping up into FPO. So congratulations to Alison. We'll see how that changes the power rankings in a bit. Mikey Yu, late entry into MP40, caught some people's tipping off guard. Takes the win by 6 strokes over Johnny Ferrari and Tom McKay in third, shooting a 10.40 round 1. A huge
in horrendous conditions too.
11
horrendous, raining and very windy.
But yeah, that was the hot score of the tournament. Was that 61? So well done to him. In MA1, I think I'm right in saying local Brenley Marshall.
Very local.
Takes out the win here with a strong performance, finishing even part over Jens Muller, Norman Tudor in third. In FA1, Rowan Simmons takes out the win in a very tight division. Actually over Nicky Day, and then in the best division, Barry Van Beek caps off the tournament with a 975 rated third round. I
believe, Matt, I called that last week, actually.
You did. Very well done.
I did, yeah.
And beat Stuart Gilchrist into his second place in a row, and a strong performance by Scott Brooker to finish in third place. He'll be happy with that as well. So beating out the likes of Lance Eason and others is no small feat. Into MA50, Mark Tebbott is on a bit of a making a bit of a habit of winning recently, finishing as he does 4 shots ahead of a trifecta of Andrew Faulkner, Jeff Lewis, and Josh Ewer Walker. Down in MA70, Monty Westrup gets the win over Paul Lindsay. MA2, Chris Leverby wins by 1 shot over Tim Giles and Liam Spronken. So well done to Chris. And in MA3, it's Richard Riranui, who I think gets the win over Alex McIntosh on a playoff there. So on a very, very tight division again. And down in MJ18, Connor Rance takes out the win over Grayson Heen by 2 shots. So yeah, some stories all over the place. You've got Levi leading the way. He's not lost to he's only been beaten by a Kiwi once since the start of 2024.
It's a stat that's just going to keep on growing, right?
Do you? I mean, so genuinely,
it feels that way.
Genuinely, is that the case? Chat, put it. We want to know when will the next Kiwi beat Levi?
Yeah, do we close out 2025 in the same fashion that we're sitting in right now?
Yeah, I mean, he's already said he's going to be playing fewer tournaments, right? So he's not going to be racking up dozens of tournaments in the year. We're probably only looking at about maybe 10, and you know they'll probably. He's played like 5 already. So, I mean, they're probably more towards the larger tournaments and in this kind of summer months, right? So we're probably approaching a time where he won't be playing too many more. I'm not even sure if he's registered for any more. He's playing in the Seafarer, which is in 2 weeks' time. Sorry, a month's time, in 4 weeks' time down in Dunedin. So yeah. But where and who will be the next time that a Kiwi beats Levi? We shall have to see. The person who did beat him was Francis Orange. And I think of anybody in New Zealand, Francis probably stands the best chance and is knocking on the door of 1,000 rated. And he will become, at Morgan, let's have a think about this. Jacko's been 1,000 rated. Levi's been 1,000 rated. Simon Feasy's been 1,000 rated. Is there anyone? Is there any other Kiwis who have been 1,000 rated?
I don't think so.
So will Francis Orange become the 4th player in New Zealand history?
He absolutely could be, but interestingly enough, and I'm not saying Francis can't do it again because he absolutely can, but I think the next time we see Levi beat by a Kiwi, it's not going to be Francis, and it's all probably going to depend on where Levi goes and plays. He might find himself back in the North Island when Jacko or Simon's on a big heater, or Johnny Wake or Andy Davey or Ben Morris. You never know, right? Or even down home, Jack Maffey at the Seafarer out in his backyard.
Yeah.
Could pull another one out where he just plays absolute ultimate golf for an entire weekend. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that plays out in 2025.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can get some more stats on this, because the first time he is beaten, that's a significant thing, right? That's a feather in the cap to whoever can pull that one off. And in FPO, you touched on it before. Fantastic to see Alison Tweedy doing the business in FPO. She's arrived at she took her time playing for FA1, getting FA1 experience, getting FA1 victories, has made the step up to FPO here quite rightly, I think, looking at the respective fields.
I don't think she's going to... I haven't been into her PDGA. I'm going to do it right now, but I think you'll find she'll stay in FA1.
Okay. All right. I don't suspect she's got, or she can't take cash because she's not 18. But so
yeah, she's FA1 at the Queenstown Classic.
Yeah, okay.
I think this is just because it was in her backyard and it was a kind of shorter course. She knows it really well.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But nevertheless, it wins for best lady over the weekend as well as that division. So well done. And next we're going to head over to Wellington, where the Middle Earth Open took place, and there was surprises and shocks here. Quite a shortened field, just 37 players. But I tell you what, Morgan, the weather was turned on. it was gorgeous here in the weekend. It was sunny. There was no wind. It was just perfect conditions. I don't know if perfect quite describes it if you're walking up and down hills in the middle of Wellington, because in 25-degree heat, when there's not much shade, there's a bit of shade in Berrenport, but it's not. There's no shade on the eastern side really to speak of. Walking up and down those hills on Saturday would have been exhausting.
Is this why you didn't play? You looked at the long range forecast and you went, "That's too much for me.
No,
I'm out."
It's not the reason I didn't play. But we have to say, congratulations to Ben Morrison, and I'm calling him Ben Morrison, and not Johnny Wake's uncle, because he beats Johnny Wake and Andy Davey in the same tournament, which is incredible. So very well done to him. Shoots 1,000 rated golf in the final round for the first time in his career. And yeah, I mean, I have to say I'm particularly proud because Ben is an old fart, which you may not know. He's part of the old farts crew. He is qualifies for Masters divisions, but doesn't play often in Masters divisions. And yeah, took out the win against a pretty strong field for the size of it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Some great players there. I mean, he's the lowest rated player, not coming in at 931 up against 965, 986, and 960. Gentlemen that on their day would usually take that win over Ben. And here he is sitting atop of the leaderboard. So well done, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And we were talking in our old farts chat that it would be about 27 to 30 under par that would take the win. From what I understand, it was one on the putting green, and the Ben's putts were solid, and he played sensibly, laid up from circle 2, where Berrenport, especially on the eastern side, if you find yourself in circle 2, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble if you don't make the right decision or you don't hit metal. And even if you do hit metal and it's the wrong bit of metal, then you can find yourself into all sorts of troubles. There was lots of 3 and 4 putts, from what I'm told. Into MA1, which was more of a tighter field. Dan Pickersgill takes out the win here by 2 strokes over Finn Rumours. Keith Furlow into 3rd. Very, very tight division. But Dan seemed to have was always there or thereabouts after the 2nd round, particularly. So yeah, very, very strong division there. Into FA1, Hannah Edmonds. Really good win for Hannah here. Newly picked up by Disconnection. Shoots a red hot 932 rated first round. And beats out Amy Whitmore by 7 strokes. Very good result. Finally, Hamish Clayton wins in MA3 over Callum Allardyce. So well done to them. So yeah, some stories and some results. And I tell you what, Ben winning in Middle Earth is a coupon buster for all of those.
Tell me, did he bet on himself?
People who were tipping. I don't think he did.
Come on, Ben. That was the real win right there.
No, I don't think he was betting on himself. No. It's amazing the return on people who tip on themselves. We'll have more of those stats.
I was just about to say, Ben, just think of the things you could have done after winning the Ultimate Tipping Championship. Wow. You've really let yourself down here, horse.
The only tipping championship. The original disc golf tipping championship. Anyway, right. Let's get into it now. Yes. Morgan, have you had chance to take a look at the UDisc growth report?
Yep, it's quite long. Okay. So I had one of those, quick reads. They just try to get a few bullet points in there, but there's a few good graphs and things like that.
That's
I think
right.
We're going to go through that Tom had lined up in the background there. So yeah, let's get into it.
That's it. So I think the first graphic that we've got here is 16,000 disc golf courses worldwide, and the map that you can see on the screen is it shows a map of all the disc golf courses in the year 2000 in New Zealand. And as you can see, there's not very many. And I'm just going to grab this screen up on my thing as well, so I've got it here. So what have we got? We've got the courses that I can see is the Ahemate course, which is an object course near Palmerston North, Taumarunui. You've got Onatangi Sports Park, and you've got Jelly Park, right, in 2000. And if we whiz this through, which is what's happening now, you can see how all the dots kind of arrive.
It's pretty. That's a pretty cool way to look at the graphic, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I really like that. I've just got that going on another bigger screen as well, and that's that's incredible. I love it.
So you can. So what this does is you can see how the growth of the sport has taken off, and how the number of disc golf courses is more or less mirroring the kind of growth you see. Kind of slow growth to begin with, and then 2020, 2021 hits, and it all kind of starts to explode.
It's quite interesting looking at the South Island coming through. I'm just looking at 2011 coming through to 2018. Everything comes down the center of the South Island. Then you get to 2020 and they start popping up all down the coast. It's like we did this line and now we're running the coast. I love it.
Yeah. The next section I want to talk about, Morgan, and I don't know if Tom's got this up or available and can bring it up onto the screen, is just after that map. Where they talk about low cost, high value. It's just after the first map. You might need to scroll a bit to find it. Did you read this article?
This is one of the parts that I read, the $70 one. Yeah, that's the one right there. I did read that. So, I feel like we need to go through this.
Okay, so I think this is perhaps the most important part of the disc golf growth report from UDisc, right? Now, it talks about a study that was done. I don't know if you've read the study that's linked there that says that's according to a study, right? Have you read that study?
I have not. I didn't have time.
Okay. No. So at lunchtime today, I read this study, and it's legit scientific journal done study with lots of stats, equations and stuff that I don't understand. And what it essentially tries to do, which I think is really, really important, right? Is to say disc golf as an activity, right, gives people, in this case, they're estimating $70 of recreational benefit for every round that they play. And this is, what they've done is they've said that recreational benefit is a way of quantifying how much kind of benefit people get from a particular feature or thing that's been put into an activity, right? And I think this is really important because what it means is that people can go to councils, and instead of perhaps a line which I'm sure has come out in the past of, well, this land isn't being used for anything else or is undervalued, so please let us put a disc golf course in. Right? So instead of going down that angle of, well, you might as well put a disc golf course in because it's not being used for anything else. Instead of going down that, it now becomes here's a study which shows that there is a benefit to you to put a disc golf course into this area. And you really ought to be looking to put in as many as you can, because look how beneficial it is, right? And so I think it kind of flips the argument and puts and can put in a slightly different, can shape conversations in a slightly different kind of way, and perhaps put a little bit more ammunition into the pockets of tournament directors and course designers.
Yeah, just refreshing the ammunition, really, isn't it? Just giving you another.
Well, that's it. That's it. So it doesn't become a case of, please, can you do this thing that is a bit of a chore for you, right? It becomes hey, you need us to help you put this really good thing in for you, right? And I think that that's a different kind of I think that's a different kind of thing. So Ewan, what they're saying is that that the cost of installing a course is pretty low relative to the cost of installation of other recreational activities. Okay. And then the benefit that people get, and the way in which benefit is defined is better done in the references to the study, references in the study that's attached in this UDisc report. So I'd encourage you to read that.
Yeah, slightly further down there, just going on to what Ewan's saying there. Sorry, Matt. I was just going to read one line that's just slightly further down, going into what Ewan's saying there about. Let me just read his comment. So every 12 rounds, we pay for a basket. And then you scroll down just slightly further, goes, using the study's findings, it would take 429 rounds of disc golfers to realize $30,000 in recreational value.
Yeah, that's right. And 429 rounds at these courses was something like 3 weeks worth of stuff, right? Now, obviously, there's New Zealand, and you factor in and you exchange rates, and you've got different factors and whatever, right? But still, I think it still favors disc golf because relatively low installation costs for compared to other recreational activities, extremely low participation costs, and if you can then reduce the average travel time of people by putting in more courses, right, so that people don't have to drive as far to find their nearest one, there's more of them, then then the cost comes down, the relative benefit increases further. So I'm really hoping that actually this is a study that can be used by course designers and tournament directors, etc., to really kind of help get across the line with councils and other landowners and whatever, that where they have proposals to put in courses, because I think this, when I read this, this is kind of quantifying the thing that we've needed to have been
for a long time,
right? Which is the thing that says this is the benefit to you, because in the past it's very difficult to kind of say to a council the benefit to you for having this disc golf course in the ground is that more people get on their feet and more people are active and yada yada yada, and it's all fluffy bunnies. But what's the number, right? How are we going to see this at the end of the day? And actually, if you compare it to other things, just reading through the chat there, Arne says, I work for the council in Queenstown, and the cost to build indoor tennis, netball, basketball court is extortionate. I can imagine way more than a disc golf course. Obviously, way more than a disc golf course. And I would argue that actually you could get more use from a disc golf course over time as well. Also, it's worth mentioning that Topor has made it into the top 100 list again for 2025. Dang. So huge congratulations there. Tip of the cap to Topor. We don't know the exact number. I'm sure Steve does, but we don't. Number 75 we're saying this year, which is fantastic. They're releasing them every now and again, so look out for the post from UDisc on Topor's announcement. Right, let's have a look at a bit further down the report. So disc golf participation has grown by 76% over the last 5 years. Now, if you remember, just scroll up a touch, Tom. I know you want to get to this chart, but we'll get to it in a minute.
He's in the background. Get to the chart.
I'm just under the study bit, so it's disc golf participation. I'm about a quarter to a third of the way down. It's quite near the top still.
Disc golf participation has grown by 70% over the last 5 years. Look, I'm already into it.
That's the one. If you remember, Morgan, back to the show last year, I think we did it in about April, where we looked at the growth of disc golf within courses over the last few years. This is showing a similar kind of trend, right? Which was huge increase in 2020, 2021, and to a degree 2022, and then a slight plateau. And so yeah, so we're when we've got the New Zealand stats for this, we'll see. And when we get down to the chart down the bottom, a few of those stats will be previewed. You can see there. There's still more disc golf courses than Dunkin' Donut shops. Is there a New Zealand equivalent, do you think, Morgan?
Bakeries?
What do you think?
Bakeries?
Surely not. Surely not.
You know what? Just right, and I mean this, right before the show, I didn't even say to you guys, you and Craig messaged me. He goes, massive news, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And I went, what's he about to drop on me? What is this right before the show? Our favourite bakery in Christchurch, Move Shops. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. That was all he had. The chairman of New Zealand Disc Golf. I thought he was coming in with the biggest hot take in the world, and it was news I already knew.
Well, whilst we're on the subject of bakeries, there used to be, I say used to be very solemnly, a bakery called Trisha's Pies just down the road from Berhampore, and that's now closed, unfortunately, which is a huge shame.
Of the week.
So they used to do a very nice set pie there for either a pre or post Berhampore Sunday round. So anyway,
can we get that in? Can we get that in the chat?
Just
in, let's do this for Jake Meikle, our snack man of the week, usually, who seems to have gone a little quiet. People's best bakeries in the country, and we're going to list these. We're going to go check them out at some point. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes. You're tuned to Sweet Chain Pies every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Anyway, let's have a look. 9-hole courses, they're saying, are driving disc golf's growth. That's probably fair enough, right? We've seen that. The more little 9-hole courses you can get up, then the better. Are you all right then, Morgan?
Sweet Chain Pies, sorry, mate. You got me good.
Okay. Then there's a lot of steps that people took. Playing UDisc. Norway adds the most number of courses in a year. They've added 106. Norway's not a big country, eh?
It's not, but that also doesn't surprise me with the amount of European people I've spoken to in the last month when we were away. It's booming out there, absolutely booming.
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous. 100 courses.
Yeah.
New York, yeah, doubled in Colombia, which is fantastic, which is great to see. They're quite into their disc sports in Colombia. They've got quite a competitive ultimate scene over there, so I'm not surprised to see that it's leading the way in South American disc golf. Poland is growing a lot, and this next one, Spain is the world's premier disc golf tourist destination.
I've seen that just before, and I was trying to think of what the name of the big tournament that they do out there is. Is it actually listed in here by chance? No, it's not.
I didn't see it, but it is. Yeah, I know the one you mean. People are spending more or less the same money on disc golf in 2024 as they did in 2023. And charities are building quite a bit of growth. We saw, obviously, you played here just over a year ago.
Yep.
And now we can finally have a look at this chart that Tom's so keen to get up on the screen. Look at this, scrolling all the way down. So this is a bit of a heat map of where disc golf is being played around the country. And you can see where the kind of busiest places are. I suspect that the heat maps are around the areas you'd expect them to be in. If you hover over each of these courses, what it does is it shows you the number of times that each one has been played. So as you can see for Jelly Park as an example, after 2 years of reducing numbers, Jelly Park actually increases its numbers to record numbers in 2024, beating 2021's numbers out. And we know that that's the busiest course in New Zealand. Heading down to Invercargill, Invercargill stayed pretty static compared to last year. And Morgan, if we head over to your neck of the woods at the Gardens saw a record numbers of people as well.
It's the Gardens dropped off a little bit, I noticed. Oh no, I must have been hovering over the wrong one. Well, that that's interesting because I would put it out there and say that most local players actually aren't playing the Gardens as much as a lot of other courses, namely places like Flight Park.
Maybe that's a sign of the increased tourist numbers in Queenstown, perhaps this year over previous years. And then if we head back up to Wellington, Berhampur's seen a slight reduction in the number of people who played. Hikoikoi's seen quite an increase. Actually, 2024 numbers are up nearly 20%. And up at Harcourt Park has also seen record numbers of people going around. Now, we're going to go through all the results, and to see if your favourite disc golf park can make it into the top 20 so that it gets a mention in our hot scores. You'll have to wait and see as we do more and more of the analysis on this. But yeah, interesting report to have a read through. I would say if you're a tournament director, you're on the board of a local club, you're a course designer, or you've just got an interest in disc golf, then give the growth report a look. Lots of people talking about Trisha's Pies. I hope it's not closed, honestly, Butler, but we'll see.
Burgess, Trisha's Pies are for peasants compared to Saga's Pies.
Yeah, right.
Whew.
Shots fired. But
Saga's Pies are great.
So yeah, look, it's something that's definitely worth having a read through. If you haven't had a chance to already, then please do. Right. Next up, we've got 2 tournaments that are happening this weekend. Morgan, we've got the Te Pohoi Breeze, which is entering its second installment, and Tom needs to collect his rewards when he sticks it on screen in a second.
I seen Kath said it was the second, and you said it was the third, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, Kath's going to be right, but I thought it was the third as well.
Yeah, so did I, but we
don't argue with Kath
more than me on this, because she would have played it previously. It was done in 2023, but was there? That's what caught me out. There was no one in 2024, so it was played in 2023. There wasn't one in 2024, and then it was played this year. So that's what I'm getting confused of, because I'm remembering it just being long ago. The last one was
October 2023. Yeah. I'm seeing it there now.
Yeah. So looking into the tipping of the Te Pohoi Breeze, we've got a very small field in MPO. Ashton Clark goes head-to-head against Josh Pratt and is the favoured player of the 2 to take out the win this weekend. In MA1, Ty Engelke is the favourite over Dan Pickersgill, who picked up the win in Middle-earth Open. More recently, Joel Simpson joins them in the top 3. Local Josh Weavers will be trying to sneak onto the podium. In MA40, Gary Jarvis, off third place at Nationals most recently, is the favourite going into this. He'll be up against Hayden Shaw, Ryan Kiddo, and Mike Foley. What a card! If that ends up being the lead card for the weekend, that's pretty much anyone's game. Quite honestly, Leon Krellin, Ephraim Russell, and Phil McLeod will be trying to upset the party. Kath Headley goes up against Debbie Mills, and in MA2, Jared Saw is the favourite over Kieran Martin, Matthew Stowell, who's local to the area. It's going to be very, very tight MA2, honestly, as there often is. Very little to pick between the group there, and look out for Kieran McLeod as well. He's got a cannon arm. He's Phil McLeod's eldest son.
44-1.
A very, very strong arm. If he can keep it in the fairway and he can fight that wind, then he could place higher than his ranking suggests. Caitlin McLeod goes up against Jenny Joint, and in MA3, Anton Delaney is the favourite over Nathan Coombs and Zach Kurd. So that's FA3. Libby Darrick is the favourite up against Rebecca James Longville and Eileen Doricott. So
just going through that, I've put all the bickies in on Hayden Shaw right now. All 33.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah.
Look, that's going to be a pretty tight one, eh? I know Ryan's not played competitive or sanctioned disc golf for a time. Obviously, he played Woodville, but not played sanctioned disc golf for a while. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. Mike Foley performed well at Nationals in MP50 for a few rounds, fell off a little bit in the last round, and Gary Jarvis played well with the exception of his back in kind of going out in the middle way through the first round of Brooker Ave. Not sure how Tapohoy will favour him, honestly. It's more similar to Brooker Ave than it is Bottle Lakers, of course. Hayden Shaw, and Rip Brooker Ave, which we'll get to in a second, which is being closed down.
It's done. It's gone.
It's done. It's done. It's gone.
Gone.
And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Where are you placing your bets? Having a look at the chat. Gary Jarvis for the win. Andy Brewster's good value. Where do other people see? Who's going to split Ashton and Josh? Who do we think is going to take out MPO? Morgan, who would be? Where do you think? Josh has had some pretty strong performances recently.
Look, yes, brain says Josh Pratt, heart says Ashton Clark. That's all I've got to say about that.
Yeah, fair enough. It's going to be a pretty tight one. I don't think that the odds of 1.5 and 3.
But I'll also say, if you're not betting 33 baht on Hayden Shaw to win, what are you even doing? What are you
33 baht is about 4 and 6, isn't it? That's
all I had.
Okay. And finally, let's have a look at the late summer's dream down in Jelly Park. This is a pretty tight tournament all over the place, honestly. Magnus Davidson is the favourite in MPO over Willie Taratner and Jeremy Brockenshire, Dwan Fisher in 4th. Yeah, but look, this is slightly different, right? Because this is Jelly Park, and there are some specialists at Jelly Park.
Yeah, 100%, man.
So I mean, you're not necessarily going to get the rankings are going to dictate what's going on.
No. Scroll slightly up, please, Tom, just a wee bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a battle between people like Jeremy and Dwan for this one.
Yeah. Who have we got? Scott Brooker says stupid odds on Ormandy. Well, there we go. I'm getting an I agree from Tom in the background there. So we're saying that 4.7 is value odds on Jason.
Is there anyone in the chat that can update us on Mr. Ormandy's bag? Did he get his bag back? Did he get some discs? Does he still need discs? We're still here to help if he needs any more discs.
He did have a help because he won the $1,000 Ace Pot prize at Nationals.
That's right.
I think it was. So he did very well out of it. Karma is
karma at its finest.
A good thing, indeed. Into MA1, Ben Schicker is the favourite here over Kevin Carpenter, Logan McCarthy. Again, this is a pretty stacked division and could go any of a number of different ways. Jelly Park can be a fickle mistress, and so yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Andrew Inch is the favourite in MA40 over Kurt Graham. They're the favourites really going into this. The analysts don't give much to anyone else in MA40. Harriata Neho is the slight favourite over Sarah Keane, and Gregor Brosnahan is the odds-on favourite for MA50. Now, this is where my money's going. Surely, you would expect Gregor to come out.
I was about to say, you mean for Gregor, right? Because
yeah.
We can just revert back to previous comments that I've made going, I'm betting Gregor, I'm putting the house on Gregor until someone beats him.
Yeah, how many times do we mention him in the? How many times do we mention him in the chat?
Exactly. Yeah.
Janine Frost is slight favourite over Donna Cormack, and Bailey Gardner is the odds-on favourite in MA2 by some distance, 3.2 over Michael Wyhan, and then producer Tom in.
There's word coming in from the green room. Put the house on Tom Baker. Tom Baker.
Is that what we're hearing? Tom Baker
that's
at
what I'm hearing
4.5 to place.
That's what I'm hearing from the ops room.
Is what that's it. Well, very best of luck, producer Tom. We wish you all the best.
Sweet change value bet of the week. Okay.
Quite possibly, quite possibly. Christina Orr is a favourite going into FA2, and Lex McPhail and Tony Dykstra are the favourites in MA3. MA4, they keep going down. Look, at this point, the analysts at Sweet Chain Live, when it came to MA4, really struggled to pick a winner, as you can see by the odds there. If there's anyone with a slight advantage, they're giving it to Matt Brown. But honestly, it's if you pick the winner there, then you've done well. Petra Adams and Laura Shaxton Poi Poi go in as even favourites, and Sebastian Stridham is the odds-on favourite in MJ15. Octavia Davidson is favourite against Mackenzie Craig in FJ15. So lots of stuff to get involved in there, Morgan, over the weekend, and we all know what can happen in a one-dayer at Jelly Park. That's a crapshoot, honestly. It's a little bit more, indeed. Producer Tom, I wonder if we could just go back to the tipping a moment, and I'd just like to talk a little bit about the season leaderboard, if you could bring that up and pop it on screen. So leading the way so far in season 1 is Steve Lawson, who has a balance of 37,000 coins on a return of 194%. So well done to Steve. He had some pretty big wins coming in.
He has a balance of 36,000, and he's staked 37,000 this week.
No. Is
that not what that says?
No, that isn't. So his total balance, which is the amount that he's committed to.
It's on the far end.
Plus
it's on the far end.
What he's got in his bank, right? Is 37,000.
Yeah.
Josh Pratt is in second place with 14,000. Yours truly is in third with 11.5. You see how much it drops off. I've got less than a third of what Steve's got in third place. Yeah. And then it goes down. What I would say is, if you're struggling for coins, and there are a number of people, if you go to page 8 of the leaderboard, there are a number of people who don't have too many coins left. Everybody this Saturday will be getting a 500 coin stipend to help boost them for the remaining tournaments of the year. Not of the year, sorry, of the season. The season ends at the end of March, right? So just to give you an idea, we've got Paradise Place, which is in 2 weeks' time. Right, so that's after Te Pohohoi. So you'll get the coins. You'll get your stipend in time for a late summer's dream, but not in time for Te Pohohoi. Okay, Te Pohohoi starts on Saturday. The coins will be deposited on Saturday morning, and you'll so you won't get them in time for Te Pohohoi, but you will get them in time for a late summer's dream. Then you got Paradise Plates in 2 weeks' time. Then Queenstown Classic the weekend after, Seafarer the weekend after that on the same weekend as Makaripi. And it's after that event, those two events, that's when the season ends. Okay, so still plenty of tournaments to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tournaments left to get your tips in. And to try and usurp Steve at the top of the leaderboard. And you're going to want to win, because this for season 1, we've hooked up with Disco Fever, who are going to provide us with a special season 1 Sweet Chain Tipping. I don't have it on me. Sweet Chain Tipping season 1 champion disc that you can hang on your wall and take pride of place on your mantelpiece or above your bed, or wherever you choose to hang it. The betting normally closes in the morning of the tournament start date, so on the Saturday at about 7 o'clock, or Sunday at about 7 o'clock in the morning is when I will normally close the betting off. So get involved. There's still plenty of time. You can turn that 5. If you don't have if you don't have an account, log in and get yourself an account, and you'll get 1,000 coins for signing up, and then you'll get a bonus 500 on Saturday if you sign up before Saturday. If you're already signed up and you're lacking coins, then you get 500 bonus on Saturday. And if you're somewhere in the middle, then then you've got a little bit of time to get yourself to up there to try and overtake Steve Lawson. Yeah, it only takes a couple of surprises. We've seen it already, right? If people put money on Ben Morrison to win last week, then they would have cashed out quite handsomely. Right. So that's all the tipping to note that I have. Let's play a bit of disc duel, shall we, Morgan? It's been a hot minute.
Oh, a little bit of disc duel. Hey, just as we're getting into this, producer Tom, can you just check the chat? I've just sent you a wee photo that I might want to pop up on screen after we've done disc duel, please.
Okay. Right. So where are we going to? What are we starting with?
Oh, let's start off with. Can we just go with the Buzz? Regular,
the Buzz.
unless they've got the Buzz Saw, just the random.
No, well, a Buzz is just a Buzz. I think if you're after a Buzz Saw, then hit up Brett Carlisle. I think he's got one on.
He does. It's at $55 right now on the
I think
page.
He's got one on the old
New Zealand buy
sell page. That's it.
Yep.
Right, let's have a look then. Where are we?
I'll lock it in, Trev.
It's nowhere near a Buzz. So it's a lot faster. It's got a lot more fade, and it's got a little bit more glide. So let's go with a Saint. Yeah, I think that's got a 1 turn. Oh, -1. So -1 and 2. So it's a -1, 2. We've got that. Its glide is between 5 and 6, and it's slightly faster than a 9.
What about like a Destroyer?
Too low a glide, I think, but let's go for it.
Is it too low a glide?
I think it's and is it -1 free as a Destroyer? But
not too sure.
By all means, click it. Yeah, let's go for it. Here it goes, -1 free, and it's the glide is right. Okay, so I was wrong on the glide, but okay, and it's not Innova, and it's not Latitude, and it's not Discraft. So what does that? Who does that leave us with?
That leaves us with
MVP, basically.
10-11 MVP.
-1, 2. Something like an Octane. I know Germ was throwing those.
Octane's like a 12, isn't it? Or is that an 11?
Oh, is it? Okay,
stick
it in anyway, just to check, see if we can knock the manufacturer off. Oh, it's a 13, but we got the rest of it right, and it's not MVP. So there we are. Okay.
So what have we got here? We've got Innova, Latitude, and sorry, not
it's
Innova,
an 11, 9 or an 11, and it's not Discraft. It's not MVP. It's not Latitude. Or dynamic discs.
Producer Tom, can you just go into the how to play section and just let us have a quick look at the manufacturers, please?
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's not Discraft and it's not Innova, and it's not dynamic discs either.
Scroll down. It's right at the bottom, I think. MVP. Axiom,
so it's Castoplast. It's got to be a Castoplast. So what are we looking at? A Grim?
Oh my god!
Is that a Grim?
So. I just really randomly have a Castoplast order form up on my other screen. It doesn't have speeds of discs, and they're not in the right order. But
let's go Grim, GRYM, or Discmania. Oh yeah, actually it could be.
So hang on before. So
they don't have Grim.
I don't think they do the Grim anymore. So you've got the Yarn. I think is a fast disc.
Yarn is a mid-range.
It's a mid-range. What about the Gote or GOTE or the GULD?
I don't know about the glued or the Gort. Okay, it could be Discmania. So if there are any Discmania people out there who know their speed 10 and 11 discs,
FD3. Oh
right,
no, it's not. It's not
-1, 2.
It's not quite that. It's like a CD1 or something.
Okay,
could be CD1. This is our last guess,
CD1.
Right?
No, we got one more after this.
Oh, this is guess 5 of 6.
Oh, so it is Discmania. It's more than a 9. So it's a 10 or 11, 5 -1, 2. We got everything right. So what's one up from CD? TD? No, DD.
No, they don't have that anymore. So it's probably
DD1?
something like a... Oh, PD.
Chat is going all in on DD1.
DD's like a 12 speed.
That's what
isn't
I
it?
thought. But
It's a distance driver.
It's a cloud breaker.
It's like it's a PD, isn't it? Power drive is like a 10 speed.
Yeah. Or Craig
Not
saying
so
not.
Craig like and saying not a
Not
PD.
a PD. He would kind of know PD's
PD
too stable. That's my feeling as well. That I thought that. So
he would know because he's already done this today.
Sam so Discmania sponsored Sam Lycan says to TD, right? So should we go TD?
Yeah, I mean it's an out of production disc, but we can try it.
Okay. Oh, it's a DD1. Right.
DD.
Oh my word. Well, congratulations to Arne Burgess, Ewan Craig, Steve Lawson, Arne Burgess again. Very keen on that answer. And others who said DD1. Yeah, well,
TD1 in the chat. Is that a new disc that I don't even know about? I've got an old TD over there somewhere, one of the original TD Rushes. That was a sick disc.
Right. So we're now, Morgan, you got something to talk about with regards to the gardens, is that right?
Yeah, it looks like Tom's already popped the map up on the screen anyway, so there's no holding back from it now. But Mr. Burgess, who's in the chat right now as well, I've been around today I've actually been around on the course the last 3 days trying to create the UDisc map. I'm very familiar with UDisc and how it works, but I tell you what, I've had an absolute mare this week with UDisc. I'm fighting them right now, basically. So it was hard to do that UDisc report today, but because they're not in my good books. So today I went around with Google Earth and just mapped the course for the Queenstown Classic, which is going to be 22 holes. And then Arne's just put a couple of extra bits and pieces on here. This is actually a map that's going into his council meeting tomorrow for it to be 100% approved. And when this is 100% approved, currently we're at 100 people with about 16 on a wait list. The next 10 people, we're going to be able to do 110 people on this current layout. So if you're in that next 10 people on the wait list section, you're very likely going to be in. Fingers crossed, and you'll know in the next 24 to 48 hours, I would say.
So So wait a minute, because if your name is Matt Pritchard, Alex Hazlitt, Beccarini, Brandon Ferrari, Emily Milsom, Marcel Bewley, Aman Kumar, Mikey Dahlstrom, Alex Pyle, or Cole Rasmussen, they are the next 10 people in the waitlist.
Yep. We just had a couple of people pull out over the last 48 hours or 24 hours even for a couple of different reasons. So a couple more of those people have been bumped up as well. So if you're on the wait list, stick it out. You never know. Things happen in people's lives. They need to pull out, and we'll endeavour to get you in there. But the next 10, you're locked and loaded for the next 24 hours. So stay tuned. And this map here will be published publicly as soon as it's been approved.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just a little sneak peek for you guys that Sweet Chain for joining us week in, week out as a thank you. And you can go back and watch our video after we're finished tonight and just check it out in a little bit more detail.
Fantastic. Okay, right. And finally, just before power rankings, we've got Disc Golf Valley to check out who has played the best. Arne with a 9 under par. Look at this. Kelvin with a eagle turkey. A turkey eagle. What's that called? A turkey eagle. Who knows?
Too much time on your phone is what it's
called. That's right. 11 under par. That's mental. Very well done to Kelvin. Arne with 9 down. Morgan in a distant third place with 7 under par. So yeah. Right now.
Oh yes, I think that, and you don't have to do it right now, Matt. But that one picture that Tom just had on the side there, I think that's a nice parting note to go out on when we are ready.
Okay, so let's have a look at power rankings. Starting off with the women, it's Alison Tweedy who moves up 1 spot into the number 1 position in New Zealand Disc Golf. Congratulations to her. Nicholas Stout is up 1 to 4th. Hannah Edmonds up 2 to 5th. And yeah, so very well done to Alison. Michelle, Michaela, Nicola, and Hannah make up the top 5. Over to the men, and Levi Stout remains top. Francis Orange climbs 1 spot to 2nd. Johnny Wake drops 2 spots to 6th. Mikey Yu climbs 9 spots up to 9th. Andrew Popham and Ben Wheellake re-enter the charts at 13th and 14th respectively, and Ben Morrison gets the Flame up 18 spots into 16th place. Also worth saying, Johnny Ferrari up 13 spots to 23rd. The big movers this week: Andrew Faulkner up 69 spaces to 98th. And Corey Gray up 65 spaces to 144th. So well done to both of them. Also, Scott Brooker up 35 to 148. So well done to Scott. Right, Morgan, talk us through the what's about to be on screen.
Yeah, so it's on screen right now. Absolutely nothing to do with me, but something that I seen pop up in the Queenstown Disc Golf chat this week. And I'm hoping that you guys will see this throughout the country and further abroad coming up soon. But Juliana Korver has left this disc in the country, and it reads, "In loving memory of Sonia McKinney." God, I should have had this on a different screen. I'm so sorry. It's a little bit far. There we go. Please take this. Matt, can you read that?
Yeah.
My reading is terrible. Please, sorry, pal.
Please play this hole for her, then leave it at the next hole for the next player. If found on the last hole, please take to another course. Take a pic and post to Shady Oaks Disc Golf Club on Facebook. So yeah,
thank you very much for that.
It's
pretty cool seeing things like that.
That's in Queenstown.
It's pretty special. Obviously, it's in Queenstown at the moment. I mean, it could have left already. It was in the gardens. That looks around 1, 2, 3 sort of holes right there. So hopefully that's making its way around. I didn't see it today when I was out there, so more than likely it's travelled off to another course. But I love seeing this in loving memory of Sonia. Obviously a close friend or a friend that's passed, and just trying to keep on the spirit of disc golf and keep her in everyone's minds around the world. So it's very special.
Absolutely. I mean, I love this. I love the idea of it. I think that's absolutely fantastic as a thing to. Obviously, we've seen them before. There's been plenty of them that have done the rounds, but I think that it's great, and I love to see those. So so yeah, if you do find that disc currently somewhere in Queenstown or close to it, then do what it says. Play the hole. And leave it in the basket for the next group.
And when it gets to hole 18, take it to another course.
Fantastic. Right. I think that's about it for us for this week. Very best of luck to everybody playing at Te Pohoi and at Late Summer's Dream. You've got a couple of days to get your tips in, but wherever you're playing disc golf, take it easy, play well, get some birdies, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.